Okay, after the Federalist and Anti-Federalist basically stopped fighting each other, or they'll continue for a long time, but they're going to have to deal with the number one issue. So we're going to write this down. The number one, I'll put it over here real small over here. Number one issue or problem, put problem below it, we'll have to deal with is this big R word. The number one problem for the Federalist and Anti-Federalist is representation in the legislature. So, number one problem is representation in the legislature. So the word is representation. That's all right. Number one problem is representation in the legislature. Okay. This is what happens. The large states, that means the states with a lot of people in it, they come up with a plan called the Virginia Plan. Virginia is a big state at the time. And they wanted, large states come up with the Virginia Plan, they want representation based on population, because they have a lot of people. They want representation based on population. Okay, here's the argument. I'll put it in red. The small states. Small states, they come up with what's called the New Jersey Plan. New Jersey is a small state at the time. The New Jersey Plan. Okay. They want equal representation. They believe in equality for the states. So here's our issue. Population, equality, and they'll, I don't know, I'll do it here in black. They're going to fight. So here's the argument. They argue. They argue back and forth. They fight. All right, which do we have? Which do we have? So they come up with a compromise. They both get what they want. And they create Congress. I should write it in both colors. They create, here we go, Congress, okay? And in Congress is, the word is a bicameral legislature. It's bicameral. That means there's two groups. All right, two houses. It's divided. First, we have the House of Representatives. Representatives. Okay, House of Representatives. And there's 435 people. It's based on population. There you go. So they got their way there. Based on Virginia Plan, they got their way. The large states are happy. Okay, and then you come over here. You have the Senate. Okay, the Senate with 2 per state equaling 100 senators. So we have 100 senators. This is going to make the small states happy because every state is equally represented. There you go. That's what we came up with. And this is what we call, now make sure you know this, the Great Compromise. The Great Compromise. Whoosh. Making both sides happy. Representation is settled by bringing New Jersey and Virginia plans together. Making Congress bicameral. The Great Compromise. Okay, now representation is not completely solved. There's one more issue. I'll put this at the bottom. Slaves and representation. I'll make this kind of small. Slaves and representation. What do we do? That's the big question. What do we do? What do we do? Okay, so decide that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So there's 5 slaves. These 3 count. These 2 don't count. This will be called the 3/5 compromise. So the southern states get to count 3 slaves, which they like. The northerners, they didn't get everything they wanted. They wanted no slaves to be counted. The northerners don't get to count 2, so some slaves are counted and some are not. It's completely settling the issue of representation in the legislature.